Okay, so are we ready now?
And we are live. Welcome, everyone. This is How to Move Forwards by listening to yourself backwards. And I'm just with Sheila Balgobin at the moment. And we're about to start the webinar. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Sheila, for being here today. It's a very exceptional session that we're having today. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be listening to your voice reversals. Now, before we even start, I want to explain to everyone that it actually takes a really courageous person. I explained to a few of my former clients that we were doing this session, and they were really extremely surprised because usually voice reversals are not they're not shared with the public at all. So I really want to thank you for joining us and for allowing your voice reversals to be shared in public with us today. Sheila?
Well, well, I thank you for the opportunity for the simple reason that I'm the kind of person that, as a therapist, I don't suggest anything or give anything to any of my clients unless I've actually tried it myself first, so I know what I'm talking about. So this is a learning experience for me as well as for them. And if that means I may be a little bit uncomfortable, that's fine. Um, but I believe in educating my clients so that they make informed decisions about things. And this is just part of that.
Amazing. And the thing is that with your course coming up in March, it's going to be very exciting to be able to join and be a part of that amazing experience for everyone. And this is an opportunity for us to really see how voice reversals are going to um, expand and deepen the experience that people are going to be having in their dream work sessions with you. Did you want to comment a little bit about that now?
Yeah, sure. It's um, uh, from what my experience so far of voice reversals has been, it's just another means of tapping into the unconscious mind. And in fact, uh, I would think that any means that enables us to hear what the unconscious has to tell us is valid. So I've found the process so far very intriguing because um, it's I want to know what it is my unconscious is telling me, as you know, in the course of us the recording that we did over the Christmas holiday. So I'm really curious to know how this process all comes together and what my unconscious actually manages to float up. I'm really intrigued as to what's going to happen next.
Well, this is a perfect opportunity as well. I'd like to introduce people to my course that I'm going to be launching coming up on January 14th as well. And that is a training program, a 6-week online training program for coaches, therapists, and counselors, and anyone in the wellness industry who is working with particularly challenging clients or clients who they have modalities that they're working with, but that are finding it difficult to manage their life-work balance. This program is going to offer innovation. It's going to offer income and impact to those of you with your own independent and private practices. So we'll talk a little bit more about that at the very end, but I'd like to just dive in now. Sheila, is there anything else that you would like to say before we start?
Well, only that we but when we discussed how to present this to the public, that there were a number of questions that were asked, some of which were related to my work, and other things that were related to my private life. So the only editing we have done as such is
Sheila,
to remove
Sheila,
that.
I'm going to interrupt you. I'm so sorry. I didn't hit take off practice mode. So sorry. I've been looking for the Facebook Live. I haven't found it. So
It says we're live.
it says we're live.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine says practice mode only, and attendees cannot join until you broadcast. So I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to start again.
Okay.
Okay. Apologies for this. Sorry about this. Here we go. Starting again. Okay.
Okay.
Hi there. My name is Cinzeni Steingruber, and thank you so much for joining us on this Facebook Live today. We've been having a little bit of technical difficulties, so I just want to apologize for the late start. But I have with me today Sheila Balgobin, DreamWork detective, and it's an absolute pleasure for me to present to you this amazing session that we're going to have today, because for the first time ever, we're going to actually be presenting voice reversals, and Sheila has given us permission to present them to the public. So you will have an opportunity to actually hear live voice reversals together with us today. So Sheila, welcome, and thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Can't wait to find out what these reversals have to say. So for those of you who are listening and watching, it's going to be as much a surprise to you as it will be to me. I realize that it's very unusual, in fact unheard of, to be able to reveal people's reversals to the public, but in the interest of the public, and to educate people, as well as for my own knowledge, I decided to be able to allow myself to be exposed a little bit. Though I will say that when it came to the questions that were asked during the recording session during the Christmas break, there were things that were business related and things that were personal related. And we, in the interest of this broadcast, we have decided that the things that pertain to personal matters would not be included. I mean, I have to keep something private, don't I? So what you will be hearing will be the portion of the recording that was done that deals with business related matters, which I don't have a problem with, I don't know what's going to come up, but I don't have a problem with that being shared with others.
Wonderful, Sheila. Thank you. Now, I think it would be really interesting to just briefly tell everyone how you and I started and how this voice reversal taster came about. Do you want to talk a little bit about your experience so far?
Well, yeah, it came on the back of a 24-hour period a few weeks ago. It's really quite incredible. I was stuck a little bit in my business dealings, shall we say. And I realized that for a long time I needed to offload something. And finally, something just said, I read something and it said, you can't serve two masters. And the light bulb went off on my head. That's the light bulbs. And I realized that something that I had been holding on to that was no longer serving me needed to go. And from the time that I made that decision, I got this fantastic message, and Senzini came into my life just literally out of nowhere, as a Facebook contact. And we started to chat, and things just kind of really just mushroomed from there. It's been incredible. We just seem to be what the other was looking for at the particular moment. I think a very happy moment of serendipity.
Amazing. Thank you. And has also happened since then is that Sheila and I have decided to collaborate inside of her course starting in March called Dream Your Life, Live Your Dream. And I will be presenting the participants with a special package, a special program inside of that of voice reversals. And this is going to assist in helping make the dream work during the sessions more profound, more broad, and also more specific. People are going to hear their voice reversals. All participants are going to have that opportunity, and they will see for themselves what that will be like.
Well, hopefully the of those of people that you've trained and or people who have worked with you on voice reversals won't faint before the end of this broadcast because they just can't believe what's going on. But it's not a scary experience. It was actually quite pleasant to do the recording. I think what scares people is the idea of their inner world being exposed to the outer world. And well, I've been doing a lot of work on myself over the many decades, so I think I'm robust enough to be able to stand whatever may come up. Though, you know, you can't help but think in the back of your mind, oh God, what is my unconscious got to say? But we'll see. It'll be interesting for us all, I'm sure.
Definitely, definitely. And I'd also like to say that I will myself be leading an online course starting on January 14th called Hear Your Truth. And it's an online training course for coaches, therapists, and counselors to experience voice reversals for themselves and also explore this new modality and see how it's going to increase and improve your wellness practice. So I invite you to check out the voice reversals, and we'll talk more about that towards the end of our session today. So let's dive in. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we start?
Only that the questions that were asked covered both personal and private, personal as well as professional matters. That's what I'm trying to say. And for the sake of this broadcast, we have screened out the personal questions. I mean, I need to keep something to myself after all. I don't want to be completely exposed to the world. So what you will be hearing is, or what we will be hearing, because I haven't heard it yet, will be things that were asked related to business matters.
That's right, Sheila. And I do want to just specify a little bit as well about the reversals. Reversals are actually in a metaphoric language. So you're going to hear statements that might, first of all, the voice will sound different, all right? So the way that Sheila sounds right now, in reverse, her voice will sound very different. Second of all, the nature of the reversals, you're going to hear every word. However, it's the way that they're said, there's a lot of metaphoric language, and this is the language of your unconscious mind. So when we listen to reversals, it's not as though we're speaking in the forwards like I am right now. We actually hear archetypes, metaphors, and references that have deeper meaning and larger concepts that sometimes also are subject to interpretation. So Sheila and I are going to be talking and also interpreting as we go. I'm going to give my view as an objective viewpoint, but these reversals are actually Sheila's. She is the one who knows what these reversals actually mean. So she's going to also be sharing her interpretation of what these reversals mean to her and how they have a context in her life. All right, so can we start? Should we start?
No, let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you, and what the screen I'm going to share is actually going to be my voice reversals web page actually. And this is only for the moment so that we can make sure that the sound is coming through. And then once we have this established, I believe I can take it off. So I'm just going to experiment with this. Sheila, please let me know if you can hear the reversals loud and clear. And I'll go into share mode now. So one moment. Okay. All right. And so what I'd like to do is start with the first reversal. And in the forwards, Sheila, you're talking about what brings you the most joy and what is most passionate for you is the one thing you run away from. That's what you say in the forwards. We're going to hear that together. Now, the reversal is going to be 100% speed, 85% speed, and 70% speed. Okay. The first reversal, when you hear it, all right, it's going to be quite fast. It's kind of like when when you're learning a new language or something and you hear for the first time, it's going to sound really quick.
Like noise.
Like noise. It might sound like noise. Exactly.
Sure.
But the last reversal, the one that's at 70%, that is likely going to be the one that you're going to hear the best.
Okay.
Now, the other thing that I like to share is that, Sheila, your reversals are really long, meaning some of them were
well, people who say I can talk for England.
So some of them were 2 or 3 words long, but I have quite a few reversals that are actually extremely long. And this first one is 6 words long. Now, I have to also warn you, the longer the reversal is, the more difficult it's going to be for you to follow in terms of hearing it, because it's going to seem very fast. Okay, so I'm going to share the first reversal. Let's have a listen and see if you can hear this. And then I'm going to interpret it as well. And then you can share what this means to you. Okay, have a listen. One moment.
Brings me the most joy, the most passion is the one thing that I ran away from. Here when I rather hear no. Here when I rather hear no. Here when I rather hear no.
Could you hear that?
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Fear were there, rabbit, myth, no.
Well, the initial reaction to that is that for a time, we actually, as a child, we actually had a pet rabbit. My father was always collecting stray animals and whatnot, and we had a rabbit for a short time in an apartment in the Bronx. But there you go. That's the first thing that comes to mind. And years later, when I was a bit older, some people butchered a rabbit and kind of, it was quite unpleasant and left these beating intestines, next to the rubbish outside. It was just really awful. That's what comes immediately to mind. But rabbit myth, no, I'm not sure. But
okay.
One thing though, rabbits, interestingly enough, in particularly Native American mythology, represent the trickster. The trickster that can spit in your face but give you wisdom at the same time. So, so maybe that's there's something about I was saying that I was running away from something that gave me joy, and there's that contradiction that perhaps the trickster and the rabbit represent, maybe.
Very interesting. Well, in voice reversals, your myths are actually metaphors. They can be illusions that certain things appear to be a certain way when they're actually a different way. So definitely the fact that you mentioned your childhood and the role of the rabbit in voice reversals as well, the rabbit can also signify finances and financial wealth. So having many rabbits and multiplying can also involve that. And so my interpretation of fear we're there, rabbit myth no, is that there's a rabbit myth or an illusion around finances that is running, and there's fear around it. Now, the thing about this, Sheila, is that this is not necessarily something you would be conscious of, right? And so, you know, but there's definitely something coming up here with your finances. This is my interpretation. Did you want to comment on that at all?
Well, finances can be a sticky issue, shall we say, with me. It's one of my life lessons, I'm sure. So yeah, I can see where that would make sense in terms of my financial life. Yeah, it makes perfect sense, actually.
Great. Okay, so I'm actually going to go to another reversal, and this one is very interesting, actually. You're talking about, is also very long. It's 7 words long. I'm giving you all the long reversals right now. Hopefully you'll be able to hear them. And it's talking about, you're talking about the resources you have. So just as we've been talking about the finances, you're talking about these resources and how best you can do something given the resources that you have. The reversal is, I had it the soul see with. I had it the soul see with. Now, we can interpret this once we hear it. Let's see if you can hear this. Here we go.
Given what the resources that I have, how can I best do this? I have it so see with.
I have it so see with. I have it so see with.
Okay.
Yes.
Now that one is, strangely enough, is maybe because, as you say, it's longer. It's a little bit harder to hear the words more as distinctly. But what comes up with that one? That's interesting. Well, what comes up for me, at least right now, is that it's about tapping into that inner wisdom, and using it, which is the one thing in the first question is that I've always run away from. As you want, as you're growing up, kids being what they are, you don't want to go around telling them that you know what their dreams mean. It's like wearing glasses, being short, black, and female, and being able to interpret dreams was just a step too far growing up. So it was something I did always run away from. But what this seems to be saying is that what I really don't need to be doing is running away from it, but actually be running towards it, because that inner wisdom is what will make the rabbits multiply, I suppose.
Very good. Awesome. Well, as well, I can see that this is at a soul level. All right. So it is at a level that is, for many of us, we're not able to access that more as readily. So yes, definitely there's some soul work here to be done. This is what I'm getting from this reversal. And that there's actually other reversals that are complementing this that I would know about and that I can't really share because there's so many of them. When I do, let's say a 10-minute audio recording, I can have up to 200 reversals. And what I do is I choose the ones that are most clear and the most representative for the client. And also the ones that are directed to their main pain points or the main issues that they're challenged with and that they come to me with. So just so you know, that's how that works. Now I'm going to, for the next one, I'm actually going to stop the share on the screen. And I'm just going to experiment and see if the audio will hold. So I'd like to have us back. I'd like to put our faces back on this live. And I'm wanting to see if the audio, it should be working. So let's just try this out. Okay. And now I'm just going to go for the next one. Now in the next one, it's really great that we were talking about seeing, the soul see with. You were talking about your eyes and everything that you feel and see with your many different senses, because the next one is talking about, you talk about in the forward how you're an unusual person. All right, you just say it. You say,
I am
I'm an unusual person, right? You just say that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then you say with unusual talents. Okay. And your reversal when you're saying that is none in my eye. None in my eye. All right. Let's have a listen to that one. Let's see if we can hear that. Here we go.
I heard the first bit, but then I didn't hear anything else. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, okay. So we actually do need the share screen. Okay. Thank you. I'm just checking. So let's go back. Sorry, now you have to look at my website again. I'm just trying to see if there's like, oh, you know what I do have actually? Let me get up a picture of you and me. Maybe that would work. I'm just trying to, it's too bad. You know what? No, I'm going to share this screen. Zenny, let's see if I can share this screen. The only thing about it is you're going to see everything that is on my dashboard. And that doesn't really work. So let me just clean up my dashboard a little bit. Just one moment. Just one moment.
Talk about washing dirty linen. They say, you see, you even have to clean your screen.
Oh my dear. Okay. I know there's a different way of doing this and I will figure it out for the next time. But for now, this is what's going to happen.
Well, at least I hope we're entertaining everyone.
Well, I'm having fun. I don't know about you, but I'm having fun.
Hey.
Okay. All right. I think this is, I'll adjust this as we go, but I do want to share this as soon as possible. Here we go. Oh, that doesn't work at all. Hold on. Let me get it. No. Okay.
You don't have that link where you were before minimized somewhere on your.
Okay. I'm going to go back to the website. So this is actually will be an interesting question when I figure it out, the technicalities of it all. Okay, so let me just go back. Sorry about this, everyone. Just one moment. Just one moment. I have to set that up again.
I said, well, while Cynthia is working on this, just to let you know, I mean, it's not like we're even in the same, physical location. She's actually in British Columbia on the west coast of Canada. So that we're even having this conversation is already a feat of technological something or other, which is why we were a bit late, because we were getting the chairs and tables of it going. It's just because it's something that neither one of us had done before, connecting this way, and to be able to run the reversals through so that you, as the listening and watching, can hear them, took us a while. We had to actually kind of do a run through a couple of days before just to make sure it worked. But technology being what it is, there will always be some kind of little glitch. And we are working it out. There, we're back.
Okay, I'm back. Here we go. Okay, so all right. So the next one, I'd like to continue going on here. The none in my eye. We're going to listen to that again. Okay, we're going to listen to that again with the share screen so we can all hear it. So let's see, Sheila. Can you hear none in my eye? Here we go.
Yeah, I am an unusual person and with unusual talents. None of my eye.
None of my eye. None of my eye.
Not in my eyes. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think, yeah. And I think that's entirely true because it wasn't until um, 2 years ago now, going in November of 2017, when I went on a retreat, that I actually started to believe, not believe, but in my talent or what I was born with, but I was believed that other people would believe in it too, and that was a major shift for me. Because this course that I'm putting on now has been sitting on a shelf for 3 years, until 2017. So the course was ready, or the makings of the course were ready, but I wasn't. So I'm not surprised that this one has come up. Actually, I needed to be ready. So, yeah.
Well, Sheila, I need to tell you something. I actually have a reversal about that. So before you even told me that entire story just now, I actually knew it from your reversals. Let me tell you what the reversal is.
Okay.
In the forward, you're saying one of the issues was lack of visibility in the virtual world. That's what you say in the forward.
Mm-hmm.
And your reversal says, shade the no.
Yeah, hiding knowledge. Yeah.
Right? It's in the shade. You're not in the sun. You're not in the light.
Mm-hmm.
You're not out there, just as you just said. So we actually have a reversal that says that. So let's listen to that. Let's see if you can hear this. One moment.
Okay.
Here we go.
One of the issues was lack of visibility in the virtual world. شهيدنا
شهيدنا شهيدنا.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, hiding knowledge, hiding an ability or hiding, knowledge. Yeah, that all makes sense. It was just something that I didn't feel comfortable exactly sharing with others for various reasons. So yeah, I could see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the next one I'd like to have a listen to. I actually, it's just, I thought it was really a lot of fun. Do you know Ishtar?
Other than that the mythology in that awful movie, yeah. Yeah. Yes, I do. One of the interesting things about Ishtar is that not only was she considered a goddess of love and beauty, but love, sex, war, and fertility.
War, huh?
Yeah, well, I was laughing because it's like sex, war, fertility, and
Everything in there. Everything in
yeah,
there.
it's like yeah.
Well, this is an
But
example. This is an example of a reversal that actually, as you're working through whatever challenges and issues that you're coming up with, you over time would understand the application of this reversal. So when you first hear this reversal, you're not actually going to be like, oh yeah, I know what that means necessarily. Okay. This is one of those where you kind of like, you sit with it. And then as you work through, it comes to light and you start understanding what it might mean. All right. So as we listen to this now, just keep this in mind. This is not necessarily something that anyone is going to understand at this time, but I am sharing it right now because this is the level at which it can go in terms of speaking of larger archetypes and metaphors through the reversal process. Right?
okay.
So the actual forward, you're talking about being independent and moving towards plans and dreams and projects that you have.
Right.
And the reversal says, fire habits, Ishtar. All right. Now, it might not be very clear, this one. Now, let me explain a little bit why. Listeners might actually hear various things for the word Ishtar. If Ishtar is also part of your programming, patterning, part of your what you've inherited in your unconscious, okay, then you might not hear the word Ishtar. Now, let me explain this a little bit more. I had one client, and there was this word that kept coming up in quite a few reversals. And every time I presented these reversals to her, she just couldn't hear this word. She heard other things, but it was never this word. And for me, it was as clear as day. And for anyone else, if they were to hear it, it was very, very clear. And it wasn't actually until much, much later, when I was working with her for a third round of sessions, that she finally heard this word. And it was at that time that she was able to start working on that with me in our sessions. So
well, I think people have to be ready to hear it. I mean, you know, just like that remark, the famous remark from the movie A Few Good Men. It's like, you want the truth, you can't handle the truth, and our unconscious mind will protect us, which is why we have memory lapses, and after trauma we lose our memory and things like that, because the unconscious mind will block off whatever it can't. It feels that the conscious mind cannot handle. And so it throws up all kinds of smoke screens and blockages and memory lapses and all kinds of things to be able to protect the person until such time that they may be able to actually deal with whatever is being suppressed. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, that happens with dreams as well. If people, something will keep coming up and coming up and coming up, but they're not perceiving it until they're ready to actually deal with it, and then they start to see what's happened. You know, what that particular image or thought or feeling is.
Right. Wonderful. And exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. So let's listen to this one. It's Fire Habits Ishtar. And like I said, you're talking in the forewords about your plans and dreams and projects about as you're being independent. Here we go.
Because I'll be, independent, but it will also help me to move towards some of the, like I said, the plans and dreams and projects that I have. I have it Ishtar.
I have it Ishtar. I have it Ishtar.
How was that?
It's clear and it's not clear. And this may be a bit of what you were talking about Ishtar, but it's not perfectly clear to me. I hear the word and it sounds a bit like Ishtar. It could also sound like something else, and I'm not quite sure what. But just the fire habits Ishtar. I mean, because I think of temples and I think of people offering sacrifices, and I'm sure perhaps if I looked it up, temples of Ishtar certain must have had like burnt offerings and things like that, or they were burning incense or something like that. So there's certainly a sense of ritual or sense of doing things perhaps a certain way. I don't know. I mean, that's what initially comes up, but like you said, that may be something that that needs to be worked on before it becomes more clear. Just have to see.
Okay, wonderful. Well, there's one last reversal, Sheila, I'd like to share with you. And the reason why I want to share this particular one is because, I actually so enjoy doing voice reversals. I am passionate about it. I love it. And every once in a while, I get a reversal that makes me laugh out loud. And this is one of the ones that I just loved, and I just have to share with you. And I want to see if you can hear this one. And basically, they were in the foreword. You're very revealing, Sheila, because in the foreword you say sometimes you're impetuous or too cautious, okay? And in the reversal, you're saying, show beef is muscle. Okay, so beefy, muscly, like I'm getting
Where's
like,
the beef?
where's the beef? You know, are you muscling? What are you muscling with? So
You got to flex those muscles. I
gotta
guess.
flex those muscles, Okay, so let's listen to this one. And then as soon as we finish listening to this one, I'm going to stop the share screen so people can see us again. All right, so here we go. Let's listen to Show Beef is Muscle. Here we go.
Sometimes I'm too impetuous and sometimes I'm too cautious. Show beef is muscle.
Show beef is muscle. Show beef is muscle.
Okay, just got to show people where the beef is. I said at least that the unconscious does really have a sense of humor. I mean, some of the things that I know have come up with clients in their dreams. I mean, the unconscious is very concise. It's very specific, and because it speaks in metaphor, it can be funny as hell. It really can. So I remember as a student with studying psychotherapy, I was killing off my tutors left, right, and center, but they were black cats, they were thieves, they were, they were all kinds of things. So my training therapist was like, just keep dreaming about it, darling. Keep dreaming about it. Because I really could have strangled some of my tutors. But so that I'm not surprised that it kind of gives us this cute little answers about, well, you want to know what you got to do, honey? Well, here's the story for you. Show some beef. I was like, okay. I think that's great.
Definitely. What's really interesting as well about voice reversals is that they also represent the collective unconscious. And so I hear things in advance of when they happen. I know about various pieces of information, not just about, say, you, but also about the general public or things that are going to happen in the future. So, and this is really hard for people to get their head around. But the most important thing and the focus that I would like to, kind of underline here and highlight is that voice reversals really are a way to access pain points and challenges that are not in your view, that are kind of hidden from you. And those times where you are in this cycle and you have these patterns, these behavioral patterns, and each time you do it, you're like, I'm not going to do this again. And then you find yourself in that pattern again. It's actually on an unconscious level, you're trying to resolve something and you're not able to resolve it. Yeah. And so when you resolve things on an unconscious level, then you break the pattern. So what has happened with, former clients of mine is they've been able to, for example, overcome addiction, get through depression, break like financial barriers in terms of their career and their freedom, financial freedom. But it even extends, and this is where I focus in a lot, it extends to health and wellness. And I've had clients who've been able to go into remission with cancer and things like this. So it's absolutely astounding, the results.
And I have to agree, and which is why I was so pleased to be able to include the voice reversals sampler package as part of my course, because for me personally, it's another tool to be able to access the unconscious mind. The unconscious speaks to us in many ways. I mean, from slips of the tongue to accidents to all kinds of things. But the thing is, the unconscious mind is clocking everything all the time, 24/7, 365, awake or asleep. It's clocking everything. Our conscious mind would blow a fuse if we try to be aware of everything that was going on around us all the time. So the unconscious actually helps us to broaden our vision of things. But sometimes we're not ready to see what the unconscious has to reveal to us. And so what I do with people with dreams and with voice reversals does the same thing is to be able to deal with the things that are most on the surface, and peeling the onion, peeling the layers back, and getting to deeper and deeper as you go to be able to affect a change in addictions. And I've had people come to me. I did addiction counseling, so you know, having tools like working with dreams, which I did all the time, or voice reversals in this case, is perfect for that because what comes up will only be what the person is able to handle at that given moment anyway.
Okay, I just want to say something in terms of technically, your microphone is like tapping and giving us kind of,
Sorry.
yeah, so yeah, just be aware of your mic there. But absolutely, absolutely. And the thing that is, so it can be very confronting having your voice reversals, but at the same time, very informative. And it's like the title of this session, listening to yourself backwards so you can move forwards, right? And whether you're ready or not, your soul, your spirit will decide. And this is how in my practice, I don't do publicity. People know when they're ready and they come and they know if they're ready for this. So Sheila, is there anything else you would like to share in terms of all the amazing year of 2019 that you have planned?
This is the official kickoff of my course, which will be starting the week of March 11th. There will be, over the coming weeks, you'll be hearing more and more about that. But one of the things that you will be able to take advantage of now, and there'll be links on the post once this goes up on Facebook rather, is links to find out more about voice reversals with Senzini, or and rather a link to be able to book a complimentary mini consultation with me if you have a question about a dream that you'd like to go over. So that's, as I said, you stay tuned because in the coming weeks, we'll be doing various things in the run up to the start of the course. And there's some, even further down the line, there's some exciting information with regard to raffles, but I'm not going to tell you any more about that right now. You'll have to stay tuned to find out.
Well, actually, Sheila, you have inspired me, and because you are the marketing guru.
Yeah, right.
I actually last night I was inspired and also inspired by you, and I've actually created a sweepstakes for a free spot on my training course. So yes, so basically if you go to voicereversals.com and sign up for the sweepstakes, there are various things that you can do to gain entries. You get points to get entries, and each entry is another chance for you to win a free spot on the training program.
So if you make sure that you also, if there's a link for that, make sure I have it and I'll post it when this goes up on Facebook.
Definitely. I'm going to leave all the links below this video, and so everyone will have access to all this amazing information and be able to get on board. The other thing that luckily, today was the technical day of Facebook Live, but I'm actually going to be having a Facebook Live every day until my cart closes for the course. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to have my own Facebook Live and speaking to everyone every day. And that'll be definitely an opportunity if anyone has questions about today or about anything that you are finding on the website or in the course or what have you, it'll be a perfect opportunity for me to answer any questions to everyone at the same time. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Fantastic.
So wonderful. I think we should wrap it up today. Thank you so much, Sheila, for, it's just been absolutely astounding and amazing. I've never had someone who's been willing to share their reversals before. And
I'm just a brave little soul putting myself out there.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I really look forward to inviting you to become a mind care innovator and having you step on board with the partnerships that I'm going to be creating, starting with this training program.
Wow.
And so I will look forward to continuing our relationship and having you on board. And I'm so excited about that. Thank you so much.
Yes. I mean, I can only echo that because it's been going from this collaboration between us as we go, just going from strength to strength, and it's almost sometimes I think almost blow fuses because we're just so busy feeding off of each other all the time. Because it's like we generate so much work for ourselves because we feed off of each other's energy, and that's a wonderful thing. And I haven't felt that in quite some time now. So it's a pleasure to be in that zone again, where I'm working with somebody that I really feel in sync with. So thank you.
Wonderful. All right. And with that, we're going to wrap up our session. So thank you everyone for joining us today.
Yes.
And we'll see you soon. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.